Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Divine Libra Wisdom. I'm back again with not a pick a card reading this time, but a collective message. This is a message that I've been meaning to get out because it's been sort of replaying over and over in my mind, and I just hadn't found the time to sit down and really work through all my downloads and put it into a coherent and cohesive, video. As I do in all of my videos, I just say, if you hear background noise, I apologize. Usually I will stop what I'm saying so that, nothing is missed. And then I will pick back up once the noise stops. Excuse me. Definitely, as you listen along, like the video, share the video if you think it's beneficial to others and they would enjoy listening to this. Leave comments down in the comment section. I would love to know what you think about things and how it resonates. And consider subscribing to the channel. It pushes me out to the algorithm more and helps me reach more people. Okay. So yeah, I am going to pull some more, I'm going to pull some tarot and oracle cards. However, I will do so after I go through my channeled message. Yeah, and I will have, sorry, got some stuff going on right now. Sorry about that. I will have the cards that I use down in the description box. Okay? All right. So as you can see by the title, it's called Phoenix Rising. And for a while now, I've been seeing a lot of imagery depicting phoenixes, birds, fire, and firebirds. So we know that phoenixes are red, usually and usually referred to as firebirds. And whenever I think about phoenixes, it's all about rising from, the ashes, rising from, what has held you down, basically. You're being rebirthed, you're being renewed in a sense. And also, sitting among the flames, like you become one with the flames. Even if there are things that are happening all around you, you still, you don't allow it to keep you stuck or keep you grounded. You rise above it. So, in the way that this, what this indicates to me, for myself as well as for you all, the collective, and I include myself in the collective because I believe that this is just a message, just as much a message for me as it is for the collective. But what it tells me is that a lot of us are, rising from our own, proverbial ashes. A lot of us are tired of the same old same. We're tired of relying on things that we believe that we needed to do, as well as the things that we used to tolerate in order to, get ahead in life, to deal with other people, etc., etc. And there's a really big emphasis on being tired and exhausted and wanting the new to come in. And, I also get the sense of, a lot of us being tired of, especially with what's going on in America right now, a lot of us are just tired of, them old ideas, as Beyonce sings in her American Requiem song. And that could be a channeled song for a lot of you, because I did a few days ago, I did listen to that song actually. So, and I mean, it's ever since the Cowboy Carter album itself has come out, I've really been attracted to that song. It's a really, really powerful song, as well as other songs on that album. Yeah, a lot of what we're seeing, is a particular group's last ditch efforts to maintain control. And for a lot of us, for a lot of us, we're tired of it. We're tired of that, so that's why you see people still protesting. That's why you see people, conducting their own form of protest of sitting it out, of, maintaining their rest, maintaining their peace by any means necessary. I am one of those people, being a part of the 92%, proud of that. And, yeah, there are these different types and different forms of protest that one can do in order to make themselves heard. A lot of times, you don't have to be loud, with your protest. You can do so silently or quietly. Yeah. So I think that I also get the imagery of a snake shedding its skin, and snakes are, thought to be cunning, but also very smart, strategic. A lot of us are taking the time out to plan, to, strategize and maneuver through some things. A lot of us are having to get creative in the ways that we, may go about trying to live our lives. Some of us, believe in moving abroad. And I think a lot of us, there's going to come a time where a lot of us actually up and do that. While again, others may, turn around and stay here and fight the good fight. And that's totally fine. I really don't feel that there's any wrong way to fight for what you believe in. You can do it in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I think that just a lot of us are just so tired of living old realities that we are just like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And we're tired of what's keeping us stagnant, right? And, we're just like, and I hear, in my mind, and I know this for me personally, trying to figure out what it is that we truly, truly want out of this life, excuse me. Trying to figure out what brings us joy, what brings us peace. How do we maintain our peace? How do we, do the things that make us the most happiest? How do we protect ourselves? How do we protect our families, our children, and all that good stuff? I don't have any children, but, I like to think of my nieces and my nephews as, extensions of me in a way, because they're my nephews, or my nieces and my nephews. So, of course. But we're thinking about how to protect, our communities that we're a part of, families, etc., friends as well, significant others, all that jazz. How do we continue to exist in this world that constantly tries to tear us down, keep us down and compliant, and dumb, basically. Keep us down and dumb. Down and dumb is the thing. And I'm just give me a few minutes, because I'm just trying to make sure that nothing else wants to come out before I pull the tarot and the oracle. Or before I get to the tarot and oracle, because I have it already pulled, actually. Some of us in this collective are fearful. Because I'm getting someone like, I get shaky hands. But even though those hands are shaky, you're still doing what it is you need to do. It's having courage, being brave. Being brave in the face of adversity. Understanding and realizing that no matter what, you still have your sovereignty. You still have the choice to move the way that you want to move. Yeah. So, get into the tarot. I pulled out the Six of Swords, Knight of Cups, Two of Wands. And just real quick, the Six of Swords is about transition, moving on from a difficult situation and healing. Learning what sort of led to difficult, or what am I trying to say? We're moving on from, the difficult situation, but moving on from what sort of kept you stagnant, right? Because if you look at the Six of Swords, and I don't have it on the screen right there, but in the card is depicted two people on a boat in this particular deck that I'm using. But two people on a boat. One is steering the boat, and another is sort of sitting there, just sort of both person's back is to what would be like the camera of what we're seeing. And they're facing away from whatever it is they're leaving, right? And they're headed somewhere else. And then you have six swords sort of stuck in the boat. And it's funny because it looks like, if those six swords are stuck in the boat, then that would mean that there are holes in the boat. So it looks like it could be sinking. But it's, as they continue to kind of row along the water, the currents or whatever, they get to their destination. They're going anyway, and that's really powerful to me, because it's like, even though there are holes in it, even though the water could pull them down, they're still doing it. So that could go back to the, energy that I picked up of someone with shaky hands, still trying to do something, even though they're afraid. And a lot of times there's this, there's this saying that do it scared, and it's one of my favorite phrases to tell myself, because I had to do it plenty of times. So yeah, no matter what the outcome or what the situation, may be, or, the outlook, people are still doing it scared. They're still doing what they got to do, no matter what. And the Oracle card that aligns with the Six of Swords is Mama Malambo, and that's self-sabotage. And again, I will have the deck of cards that I'm using down in the description box, so that you will be able to see what I mean. And I'm still debating on, I may what I'll do, because I have a specific picture in mind that I want to add to, this video or whatever, but I may just go ahead and take a picture of the spread that I have out here, just so you can kind of see what the cards say. And I'm just now noticing, I mentioned snakes, and in this Malambo self-sabotage card, there are snakes all around this woman in the card. So funny that I mentioned snakes earlier. But anyway, or snakes shedding their skin. Yeah. So and also mentioning the snakes, this could also mean that, this could be, because it almost looks as if it's a part of her. So, even though the snakes are a part of you, or, there are two things here. You as an individual in the collective could be shedding skin like the snake does usually when it's shedding its skin to get its new skin or to come in or whatever. And then there's also snakes around you, and because there are snakes around you, you need to leave. You have to rid yourself of the people that, not only the situations that keep you stagnant and cause you harm, but you also need to leave the people that are around you that are keeping you stuck and keeping harming you in whatever way, shape, or form that is. So yeah. Then we move on to the Knight of Cups. And with the Knight of Cups, that represents like romanticism, sensitivity, particularly emotional sensitivity, creative endeavors, expressing yourself, being yourself, letting down the mask of who you are, being charming, that type of thing. And the card that aligns with, or the oracle card that aligns with that, is Queen Mother Nanny. And the name of the card is Liberation. So again, this whole reason why I decided to name this collective message Phoenix Rising is because of this, and I'm glad that I think it's very telling that the card Liberation would come out, right? Because when you fly freely, birds, when they fly freely, they're liberated. They can go wherever they want to go. They can do whatever they want to do. And so with the Six of Swords back, with being the first card in the, self-sabotage, when you release yourself from those self-sabotaging thoughts, when you see things clearly for what they are, and you don't allow, that boat that you're trying to flee from, the bull crap that you faced, when you're turning away from it and you're like, I'm not dealing with it no more. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of dealing with the same old same. You allow yourself to be, become liberated. And even if, it's something that happened, and I can speak personally for myself, because some things have happened to me where, it was out of my control. I didn't necessarily even end it for myself. The situation ended on its own, or someone was a catalyst, for making something happen or end. And so, a lot of times we get so comfortable living in stagnancy, or living in a certain situation that does not serve us at all. It doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve the other person. It doesn't serve whatever. And so we have to look at it as, yes, it may be hard. Yes, it may be trying. Yes, it may suck. But at the same time, it's happening because it's meant to liberate us. And so that's what the whole Six of Swords and Knight of Cups is that, because this in this card, the Knight of Cups is holding a cup, while, riding on a horse. And it's just like, you know, it's like you're still sort of kind of leaving away from the BS. Whatever has happened in the past, and you and this collective walking away from it, or it ending on its own, is meant to liberate you, to take you to the greener pastures, if you will. Okay. Sorry, guys. And the last card that I have out, or last tarot card I have out here, as well as Oracle, is the Two of Wands. And so the Two of Wands is about taking initiative. It's about planning for the future, making decisions without, making decisions and standing on it. Like, being bold about it, and having the courage to follow through. And it aligns perfectly with, I believe that, Mama Djambo or Jumbo. And it says, shine. And, this is basically just like, not being afraid to shine on them folks now, because this, in the Two of Wands, this card is a lady in this particular deck who's standing between two of her wands or staffs or whatever. And she has a phone in her hand, and she's sort of looking out over the waters. Kind of like maybe where, because to me, this whole spread sort of tells the story. We're leaving from the BS. We still, on our journey, sort of making it, going through what it is, getting away from, the BS. We're sort of like in a better place with the Knight of Cups. We're more clear. We have a plan. We know exactly what we're doing. And the Two of Wands is, we've executed the plan. We put it into motion. We've taken in the initiative, and now we're waiting on the results. Because we liberated ourselves, now we can, wait and see the fruits of our labor. And so, now we don't have to be afraid to, live out loud, to, step out of our comfort zones, be seen, be heard, make sure we have our boundaries set, and, not allow BS to happen, basically. We've learned from all the mistakes, all of the, the crap that we may have, dealt with in the past, or we, in the regards to some of the message, or one of the messages that I mentioned about, how a lot of us are tired of how, where our country is going. And, you have that particular administration trying to take us back. And a lot of us are not going for it, and we are fighting in whatever way, shape, or form that we, can, when it comes to that. So, to wrap this up, because I did not want this to be, that long of a video. Be okay with not being liked, because some people are not going to be happy with your decision to move forward, especially if it's, not with them. A lot of times we need to remove ourselves from certain situations so that we can be at peace. And a lot of times people don't understand that. They want to know why, why you got to do this or why you have to do that, because it's for my sanity. I've seen, what's happened when I'm around you, how you act, because I also get a lot for some people, maybe, you dealt with a lot of confusion in relationships, and as well as maybe even just any type of partnership, it could be with family, it could be with friendships, It can be anything. Take it as it resonates. But, you know, if you've dealt with confusion, if you've dealt with, you know, exhaustion and trying to pull and pull and pull and try to make things work and trying to fit a freaking square peg in a circle peg, and it just doesn't work because it's not meant to work. All you were meant to do was to learn from it and then move on accordingly. And for this collective, we are all being called to be the phoenix that rises. It rises from the ashes and moves forward. And get out of our own way. In a way, get out of our own way. You know, make our plans, make our escape, make our plans, and wait for the results. For listening to, you know, our intuition on moving forward. So yeah, that's all I have to say, y'all. I just had to get that message out. It's been on my mind, on my heart for the longest, and I was just like, okay, I gotta get it out. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to end this video here. Like the video, share the video, especially with someone who you think might benefit from the video. Leave me a comment down in the comment section. That would be awesome. I'd love to know what you think, how this resonates, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel. It would make my day. Yeah. Have a good day. See you next time. Bye.